how you doing? Hi, Marlene. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and flip the camera view here in just a sec. But today I wanted to we're making just a really quick and simple card. This is one of those cards that you could just make a whole bunch of. And it's just a really fun little Valentine card. So I'm just gonna go ahead and flip my camera. Okay, so today what we are going to use is this set. This is called Dotted Heart. And this is one of my favorite Brutus Monroe die sets. It's just so cute. And there's one that's very similar. Well, kind of similar in that it has the hearts and it's kind of a Valentine theme. But you can do so many different things with all of these hearts. And if you've been watching the Brutus Monroe feed on Instagram and Facebook, I'm sure you either have already seen a few really amazing projects or they're filtering in as the week progresses, because our new design team has been working on a lot of projects using these. So we're just going to use, funny enough, look at all these cute dies that you can use to make interesting layers. But ironically, we are going to just use the outline die today from the Dotted Heart set. We are going to use the X and the O from the Heart Petals. I didn't even realize I was grabbing that from the other set. Good thing I have them both here, huh? And I do want to thank Darren for moderating. Darren is awesome about also just putting up links to everything so that if you want to check it out, you've got a way to do that without having to go try navigating that on your own. Sorry, I just want to make sure that my glass mat doesn't have anything yucky on it. All right, thought I had done that, but apparently not. So I've already cut a couple of things out with this. So I used kind of an off-white, I don't know if you can see, it's kind of an ivory cardstock. My tape left a little residue on there. There we go. I use that repositional tape on my, when I die cut. And sometimes, if I'm not careful, I leave a little something behind, but looks like the other ones are okay. So we're going to use some of these. I'm going to use these two to start with. And we are going to make some sugar cookies. I don't know about you, but that is one thing that when I think of Valentine's Day, I think of big, soft, heart-shaped sugar cookies. There's just nothing better. I don't even know that I really eat sugar cookies the rest of the year, but at Valentine's Day, they just seem like they are part of it. They just have to be, a part of Valentine's Day. So we're going to use some ink to give us some frosting. We are going to use some of the Simon Hurley Rosy Cheeks, and I'm just going to blend that on, just really simply. Move a little bit further up the mat.
Gina says hi.
Hi, Gina. Tina, sorry. I'm deaf as usual. Thanks for joining us today, Tina. And I'm just spreading that on there.
Shaking the camera a lot.
I know, when I do the ink blending, it does shake the camera a lot. Sorry. There's really not an earthquake. It's just me ink blending. Okay, so super simple. And you can imagine if you're doing kind of an assembly line, making Valentines with your kids or whatever.
Deborah says hi.
Hi, Deborah. Something you could just do a whole bunch of them and just get it all out of the way. I am a big fan of the assembly line, whether I'm creating alone or with other people when I'm creating lots. Okay, good enough. So we've got our frosting, but we want this to sparkle a little bit. When I say sugar cookie on this one, we are going to make it look like it has sugar on it. So we are going to use the glitter glaze. This is called Alabaster, And this is a fabulous glitter glaze. This one is so much fun. If you want to add, if you've looked at all of the really awesome new releases for January, you've seen all of those little treats. There's the die set of the month that's called Sweets Galore. I am just waiting for mine to come in the mail. I can hardly wait. This is going to be perfect to add little sugary details. And I mean, it's good for snow. It's good for whatever, but I love it to make like sugar details. So we're going to take that, and we're going to take, I think the easiest way to do this, now I have a couple of different things I use, but Burtis Monroe carries what are called media movers. And you can use these little, mine needs to be cleaned a little bit, it looks like. You can use these little spatula type tools. It comes in a set, this one I think comes in a set of 3. And don't judge me because I don't think I cleaned them as good as I should have last time. This one looks like it still has something on it. But the reason why some of them have edges is because if you use them, and you can just kind of move your media around, hence the name media movers. They're great to use on your gel plate, whatever. But these are really nice to have when you're putting something like, when you're using a stencil or whatever, and you just want to have kind of a smooth application. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my little spatula first to just kind of get it out of the jar, because obviously this isn't going to fit in my jar. And I'm just going to... Who did?
Gina.
Gina. Okay. Now I'm really saying hi to Gina. Gina, I said hi to you when I was saying hi to Tina, because I didn't hear Darren right. So glad to have you both on. So now I've got a big thing of it here. We can just make it easy by just kind of spreading it along. We can get a nice even spreading on there. Now this has a lot of glitter in it. And so I'm actually pushing down on it as I'm applying it, because I don't want the glitter to stay. There's the gel that holds all the glitter together and all of that stuff. And that's great. And we want that on there because that's what's going to hold the glitter on there. But we want the glitter on it, right? So you kind of need to push down just a little bit to get that glitter on there. And then look at all of our sugar.
Michelle says hi.
Hi, Michelle. Super easy way to get some sugar on our sugar cookie, right? And then usually I did pretty good not getting too much excess of my glitter glaze. But see, because I used an ink blend, you can see that that is not pure white. That's not the alabaster. It's got a little pink tinge to it. So you can either get a piece of paper that you want to just have a fun artsy thing on it and just make a swoosh, or you can just wipe it off, which we're going to do right now. But if you are wanting to conserve, feel free to do that. I'm just going to grab a wipe because it's handy, but usually I would probably just use my Squeaky Clean. Okay. So now it just wipes right off. You want to wipe it off, obviously, right away. And this does take a little while to dry. And I did plan for that. So I do have a couple that are already dry. So we'll just set that aside, and I'm just going to use my spatula like a spatula. I will show you one thing. It's not a completed project. I was experimenting, so you can see one of my things that I haven't used yet, but I was kind of experimenting with using just one of these for like a mask. But the fun thing about it is if you use paper for your mask, you can use it for 2 different things. And you'll see after I remove this that what I was trying to do didn't quite work out. So I may actually still use it and just use this on top of it. See, I was trying to see what would happen if I just wanted to use a sentiment and use that for a mask, which could be fun, but I just don't like this whole composition here. So, but I do like this. So I think,
Says hi.
hi Louisana. So I'm going to use the piece that I used for a mask, because that's really pretty. And I'll probably just pop it up with some adhesive dots or whatever and use it on this piece. But if you wanted to, you could just keep that clear. You could do whatever. I don't suggest doing what I did because that turned out kind of poopy, but I think this looks pretty good. So we'll move that aside. That's a project for another day. And I will pull out the ones that are all dry. So we've got, this is what it looks like when it's all dry. You can see the sugary consistency a lot better. And then we're going to add just a little bit more interest to this. We're just going to take a little bit of the Simon Hurley Love Struck ink. And I'm just going to use my little blender brush, and I'm just going to barely go over the edges a little bit. Just a little bit. Just to kind of define them a little bit more. If it goes over a little bit more, no big deal. It's a pretty foolproof technique. But like I said, you don't need to sit in ink forever. It's just a quick and easy, just kind of detail. And see, that just makes it stand out just a little bit more. Just that little extra something. Okay, now we are going to make our background for our cookie. Oh, actually, no, we are not quite done with our cookies. Sorry, I got a little ahead of myself. This one I have already inked the edges for. But we are going to layer this up so it's kind of more dimensional. This is going to be the cookie part of our cookie. But we want our cookies to not look like they're not baked, right? So we're just going to use a little bit of ink once again on our edges. I'm going to use a little bit of brushed corduroy distress oxide. I guess this is as good as anything else. And I'm just going to lightly go along the edges. And I would say go really lightly. And you may even want to use a sponge for this just to get a softer edge. Or maybe just set it down. No, I don't think it makes a big difference. Easier to do it this way and less messy. And we really don't need to do the whole thing because half of it is going to be covered up by our frosting. So see, that gives us a little bit of dimension to our cookie. And so we'll just do the other side on this one. I got a little glitter glaze on that. That's all right. Thankfully, it scraped right off. Okay. And then we'll add this one going this way. So that little thing just made it look like a cookie. It went from dough to cookie. And now we're just going to adhere one to the other really quick. So you just want to make sure that you kind of cover it up where the little divot is in the center. The sides are pretty easy to line up. That's the trickiest part, is just making sure you've covered that little divot. So there's our first one. And then we just need to add the other two together really quick. If you wanted to, you could use like a scalloped circle punch. If you wanted to take a bite out of your cookie.
Gina said I was totally old when I learned cookie dimension.
Oh yeah? I don't know if I know it still. Okay, I think we just about have that covered. Let me just make sure I've got it lined up. Okay, I think that will work. So we've got our second cookie ready to go. And obviously, these are quite large, so we're going to make a pretty big card. What, honey?
I read that wrong. I was today old, not totally.
Today old. Okay, that makes more sense. Darren, you need your glasses as much as I need mine.
Yeah, I better put them
Okay, so this is, we're going to go ahead and set those aside and go on to our, like what's going to be our background for this. We're going to use the chunky stencil zigzag. And I'm going to add just a little bit of Pixie Spray. This is awesome if you haven't ever used it before, if you're not familiar with it. You just spray it lightly onto the back of your stencil. You hold it a little ways away. You're not gonna be able to see me because I'm not gonna be on camera for this part, but I'm gonna hold it about maybe 12 inches maybe away from my stencil. And I'm just gonna let it kind of start to set up a little bit before I stick it on there. Just so it's just kind of more tacky and so it'll come back off again. And I would probably let it dry even a little bit more than I'm going to. But I am not patient when I'm doing a live, so we're just going to go for it. And hopefully I'll have it lined up pretty good. Let's see, let's do it right about... I have such a hard time putting things on things straight. I need to just move it up a little bit, I think.
Anne-Marie says hi.
Hi, Anne-Marie. Thanks for joining us today. Okay, so this has that Pixie Spray, and you can see it adheres so nicely. You don't have to worry about your stuff seeping underneath so much. And just because I want to make this easy on myself, I'm just going to throw a little bit of washi to boot just to keep my stencil where I want it while I am using the blending brushes. I don't need a lot. The stencil's doing most of the work for me, but I just going to add that little bit. Okay, so now I'm going to take my blender brush and I am going to use it. I'm not sure which one I used. I'm just going to double check that this one doesn't have red. Okay, so I'm going to use some Rosy Cheeks. You know what? I cut the wrong paper, I just realized. All that, I'm all prepared, and I cut it wrong. I was supposed to cut it out of a different kind of paper. Bear with me for a second, guys. It'll take me 2 seconds to cut the right paper. Sorry about that. I was doing so well, too. We're just going to cut, I wanted to start with the pink piece. So I'm going to grab a sheet of that and cut that down. So I'm cutting this to 5 inches square. Well, at least we know the Pixie Spray is ready to go, right? And we'll just quickly get that ready to go. Okay, so we've got our panel now. And we'll get our little guy back on there. Gosh, and I had it on there so pretty good, I thought. Maybe this one's even better. We'll just go with that. And it's pretty well stuck still, so I'm not going to worry about reapplying any kind of Pixie Spray. The Pixie Spray stays on there pretty good. Maybe even more than you want it to. So you're going to want to stick to the same side every time you use it. Okay. So now we can use our Rosy Cheeks. Excuse my dog in the background. He's playing with his toy, squeaking. If it's not my dog, it's the geese. They're still hanging around here on their way to migrate. And they get so loud. Anne-Marie, to be honest with you, it doesn't really all the way come off very easily. So like I said, I kind of commit to one side. But I don't worry about washing it off too much, like, because it's going to still be on there. There's going to be a little bit of residue even after you clean your stencil. So I worry more about getting whatever other medium I'm using on my stencil off. And then if I need to reapply, I reapply, but I can pretty much expect that it's going to be a little bit sticky. So it is a commitment, but it's well worth it to me.
Emery said they have sandhill cranes and they're loud as well.
Oh. I don't know if I've ever seen a sandhill crane.
Sandhill.
Sandhill or sandhill? Cranes of some sort.
And Candy said hello, I made it.
Hi, Candy. Thanks for joining us. We're making a sugar cookie card today. We just used Alabaster glitter glaze to give us some sugar on our cookies. And now we're just making our background for it.
Penny asked where we're located. We have geese.
We are in Texas. We are in Lubbock, Texas, and we live right across from a pond that these geese just all love to hang out there. I mean, the whole pond will be covered with these geese. When I say that, I'm not exaggerating. There's tons and tons of them. So we must be a stopping point somewhere along the lines because they are on it. Okay, so we've got our rosy cheeks lined up on there, and then we're actually going to move our stencil. And this is one of the things I love about the stencil. You can get a really simple pattern like this, because this is cute. I mean, look, I think that's really cute all by itself. But we're going to go for it and go for a little bit fancier of a background. So we're just going to move it up a little bit, push it back down again, and then we're going to switch up our colors, and we're going to use some Love Struck, which is a red, also Simon Hurley. And the fun thing is that the place that we've already inked with the rosy cheeks gets darker. So you maintain that stripe and you add the other one. So it's kind of cool. You can play with the different widths until you have it just how you want it.
Emery says the sandhill cranes just left to go south, but they fly over by the hundreds.
Yeah. Yep. Same here, Anne-Marie. They are just, there's hundreds of these geese. It's kind of fun. I'm not sure my car thinks it is. But that's okay. All right. So you can just keep layering your ink until you've got the depth that you want. I kind of want one more layer on this, I think. I would definitely want it to be red and not pink. And I do apologize for the moving camera. I guess I'm aggressively blending. I want to make sure that's on there tight, especially since we're on our last row. I need one more layer on this section. All right, are you guys ready to see what this does when you layer it up like that? All right. we've got our...
aggressively blending comment.
My aggressively blending comment. Well, you know. All right. So now we've got... I kind of like the one I did earlier better. I got to be honest with you. I like the depth and it's dry. This won't take long to dry, but I just like that one better. You could use either one. They both work. You guys probably don't even see a difference, but this one's just a little bit deeper. So I'm going to use that one. And then I've got a little mat I want to use behind it. This is Holly cardstock.
You said it's pretty.
It's just fun, and it's just big and bold. I think it's kind of fun to do big and bold. Let me wipe my hands off really quick because I'm afraid I'm going to get ink on everything. Because if there's a way to do that, I am guaranteed to find it. Let me tell you. Okay, so we're going to attach this to our card panel, our mat, if you will. So we want to just make sure we got that centered on there. What are you guys making for Valentine's? Do you guys make Valentine cards? And if you do you send them to a lot of people or just a chosen few? What is your tradition? I'm more likely usually to make, now that Benji's a little older, he's in junior high, I'm more likely to make just a little treat or something to give to my little friends. I don't think...
Now she needs this stencil.
I don't think that Benji is going to be doing Valentine's anymore. It's kind of a weird thing I just realized. He is all grown up now. Okay, so I'm going to...
Says hi.
Who did?
Kara.
Hi, Kara. Oh, before you attach this, this is one of the things I do all the time. If you've watched any of my lives, you've probably seen me reattach a card before because I forget that I want to put my ribbon on before I attach my panel. What was that, hun?
Emery said she sends cards to close friends and family.
I think that's wonderful.
And Penny says grandkids.
Grandkids, yeah, I'm telling you. I look forward to the day, one day. I'm ready to spoil grandkids, but we're not anywhere near it. So.
Candy says, I make them, but don't send others to my honey. But maybe might get kiddos in the mail. And my niece and nephew is here.
Oh, that's a great idea. I know. I have been cleaning my just organizing and kind of purging in my craft room, just trying to get it so it's really easy to just do what I need to do and make it really functional. I'm trying to put a lot of thought into it, so I'm just taking my time doing it. But oh my goodness, I was just kind of looking at how many cards I have just tucked away, and I decided I need to send more out because it's just crazy.
Michelle says she would make ATCs and a couple of journals.
Oh, Michelle, that's awesome. Do you make Valentines with your Girl Scouts? Okay. You know me. I have to have my ribbon on my card. I have a confession to make. I did get some ink on this. But I think that it's close enough to the edge that it's not going to show. And once again, I am going to just... I didn't clean up well enough, I guess, when I did my blending.
Kara said it's a never-ending journey organizing your craft area.
Kara, it is a never-ending journey. You know, you think you've got it, and then somebody has a sale or whatever. You have a birthday.
Candy said, I'm your grandkids, but the kiddos not cooperated to give us any.
Yeah, oh. Candy, you will be a fun grandma. Well, I think I'm feeling it more now that my son just turned 13. So I just officially don't have little kids in my house anymore. I mean, we are officially teenagers and up, so I'm just kind of feeling it. I'm like, okay, I don't think I'm ready to.
Brandon said the background is beautiful.
Thanks, Brandon.
Candy said I want to make this card.
This is such a fun card, Candy. It's just fast. And like, that's why I said this is a good one for multiples if you want to make a few. All right. So hopefully I've just about got that on there right. Sort of straight, hopefully. And now we can kind of figure out how we want to arrange our cookies a little bit. Probably should have moved my bow over a little bit more, but I think we can make it work. So let's put the first one down flat on our card. Just gonna test it one more time to make sure I kind of have it in the right spot.
Michelle said, "Do not making them together this year because of the meeting schedule."
Oh, gotcha.
I'll send the girls APCs to make Valentines.
They will love that, Michelle. I'm telling you, I always say I want to be one of your scouts because you spoil them rotten. I think it's awesome. Okay, so now we're using our little X and O.
Benny says, "I love those two charts."
Aren't these fun? And you know how easy it would be to use these hearts? If you have this die set and you haven't thought of it already, which you may have already, first of all, if you want to make a standard size card, there's no reason why you can't cut some of it off. It's fun to have something that's offset. Another thing is these are perfect for just exactly the size I would pick for a banner. I'm thinking I need to make a heart Valentine banner for my windows or our entertainment center or something. And this is just the right size for that. Can you imagine doing a whole bunch of different colors with the sugar cookie finish on them? That would be pretty. I don't even know if you're going to see that sentiment, but we all know that it's there now. It's not an incomplete cookie. And then we'll go ahead and stick this other one over the top.
Anne-Marie said, "That's so cute, it could be framed art."
Oh, Anne-Marie, you are so sweet. It's just a fun, simple card. It's just nice and easy. Sometimes those are the cutest ones, I think. All right. So I'm telling you, especially if you're getting all of the subscriptions, like the dies of the month and everything, you definitely, if you don't already have it, or even if you do, I'm telling you, I go through it so fast, you are going to want some of this Alabaster glitter glaze. I love how this dries. Okay, so I think it just needs a little bit of bling and it will be done. I'm going to find my pin. I'm going to try to find my pin so that I don't clog up. There it is. I don't clog up my glue.
Stick it in the foam.
I know. I had a piece of foam on here. Oh, it's still there. I just have to actually utilize it. Such a dork. Okay, so now I'm just going to put some little blingy jewels on there. I just had these in my stash.
Where did the XO come from?
The X and the O come from the Heart Petals set. This is Heart Petals. This is where the X's and the O's came from. There's the die. I should probably put it right back in there so that I don't lose it. And you can see if you want to have an outline, you can have an outline. I thought about using the Marshmallow Puff embossing powder to kind of make this look more like icing, but I wanted the red to pull it together more. But that's definitely something you could do. That's a fun option. And then this one is the dotted heart. This one has Missing You. It's easier to see it on this side. So those are the 6 dies that come with the set. And this has Love and then the X's and O's. And you've got your outline and then your overlay. And then you've got your zigzag stencil. and your Alabaster, glitter glaze, and you're set. Super simple. And that took us what?
The card is the bomb.
Who said that?
Candy.
Candy, you are so sweet. Okay, I'm gonna switch the view. It would be a really cute refrigerator magnet. And they are just a fun, bold, big size. And the nice thing about that is, especially if you kind of dabble in both card making and in scrapbooks and memory books and folios, perfect size. I love this. Such a cute die set. All right, does anybody have any questions or anything? I didn't really ask that earlier.
They love the card.
Thank you so much. And like I said, super simple. Super simple. You could do all kinds of things with that. All right, well, if there are no questions, I'll show you one more time. All right, well, I want to thank you so much for joining me today. I had so much fun, and I love Valentine's Day. I know Christmas, I told you how much I love Christmas, but Valentine's is a close second. I love making Valentine cards. So we will have some fun for the next few weeks making some Valentine projects. So I will see you next week on the same time, Wednesday at 5 CST. Thank you so much. You guys have a great rest of your week and do something creative. Bye.